Okay, let's try this again. What looked like a snoozer in Iowa turned into some cornfield chaos. Let's talk about it next on Racin-n-Braisin. Well, hi folks, welcome back to Racin-n-Braisin. I am CJ, a lifelong NASCAR fan and chef, bringing you news and analysis from each race week, as well as a few tips and tricks from my kitchen to yours. Today, we're going to get caught up and put a thumbs up or thumbs down on that Iowa race. We'll talk about how SVG did for his day on Sunday. We'll give an update to the playoff picture, talk about the big news in the Truck Series regarding the 52 and Stewart Friesen's ride for the rest of the year. And then finally, we'll round things out with how things went with my Maid Rite sandwich this weekend for Iowa. So let's dive right on into it and get caught up. Like I said, this is a take two. If y'all are wondering, your regular subscribers, and I appreciate all of you guys, my Sunday night video was made, and I thought it was a great one. I had a ton of analysis from the Iowa race, did our typical thumbs up, thumbs down segment, and somehow it got lost in processing. I'm not sure what happened. It got lost. So, to be quite honest with you guys, I fumed about it all day yesterday on my day off, and thought about it all day here while I was working today, and came home ready to go. So let's dive right on into it, and let's get caught up with the thumbs up or thumbs down from Iowa. All right, guys. Well, Sunday night, I had some pretty good vibes going on after the Iowa race. So I initially gave this a thumbs up, and I'm going to stick with that. Overall, I thought the product was a thumbs up. But yesterday, while I was ruminating and fuming about my failure here with our video, I was able to catch up on all of the podcasts from Monday and all of the analysis that everybody puts out on YouTube. I caught the teardown. I listened to Door Bumper Clear, even listened to Denny Hamlin's Actions Detrimental, and got a pretty wide picture of what everybody was thinking about that Iowa race. And, Jeff Gluck's was a good race poll. Only worked out to be a 46.8% compared to last year's Iowa race was in a 91 percentile. So big change this year. And, listening to what everybody else had to say about why Iowa was not a good race, I can understand. There were a lot of things that I definitely noticed throughout the race that were troubling, in my opinion. First off, the passing was just terrible. Yes, a pass could be done, and we actually did see a pass for the lead during the race, but it took 30 or 40 laps to set that up, and we really only had 3 green flag segments during that race, so there wasn't much opportunity to get passing done. The big movement throughout the field was during the restarts, and those restarts were absolutely chaotic. There's no doubt about that. And it turned out, at least from Denny Hamlin's opinion, that a lot of the chaos was being caused by Chase Elliott and Kyle Larson. They were hanging back on the restarts, and kind of looking at it, yeah, they were. So they were getting big runs, and they were the ones that were causing the 3 and 4 wide action. And you remember, Elliott got squirrely, Larson got squirrely a couple of times on restarts because they were putting their nose in the areas that they... Obviously, they should be going for that, but did they necessarily need to be in those situations? It's kind of a give and take. Track position in this generation of car is so important because passing is so difficult. So, I could see where people disapproved of the racing on Sunday. The passing was terrible. There was no tire fall off whatsoever. There was no reason, once again, that a fuel mileage battle dictates the end of the race, and the leader is running at 50% throttle on the straightaway and still able to gap second and third place. It's all because of the design of this car. Another big factor that I think had an influence in this race was that Iowa has become a one-groove track because of their partial repave. if they would go ahead and repave Iowa fully to allow more lanes to be able to be run, I think it would do better for the next gen car. We have seen throughout the progress of this next gen car that single lane tracks just do not work. There needs to be air on the nose, and if you can't get air on the nose, then you can't drive the car and you can't pass. So defense becomes the name of the game, and clean air becomes the name of the game. And I think us fans, myself included, are getting a little bit tired of it. But at the same time, like I was discussing with my mom the other day, this is what we have. This is the racing that we have. Is it worth complaining about all that much? Or do we really need to adjust our mindset to accept that defense is now a part of the equation? Fuel mileage is absolutely a crucial part of the equation now, and these teams have gotten so good at calculating things that they really are running it down to the very last fume. William Byron ran out of fuel as he was doing his burnout, so their calculation was spot on this week. Didn't work out for him the previous week, but they got it right this week. So yeah, thumbs up overall for the race. It was compelling, it had drama, it had all sorts of excitement definitely there in the chaos that was stage 3. And yeah, there was drama there at the end, wondering if William Byron was going to run out, wondering if Brad Keselowski could have enough to get around Chase Briscoe, wondering if Ryan Blaney was going to do anything with that late charge that he had. So I'm going to stick with the thumbs up. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I want to open this up to your opinions. It's great that Jeff Gluck has his "Was it a good race" poll, but the voice isn't heard. It's just a number. So I really encourage you guys to leave a comment with an emoji of a thumbs up or thumbs down. Let me know what you guys thought about the race. I am keeping a tab of it, as you guys can see here. And so far, we're running a pretty good season as a whole. There's been a couple of downsides, and I think this week in particular, an argument could definitely be made that it probably wasn't a good race, but I want to hear from you guys. So I appreciate it. Definitely contribute down below. All right, well, moving on now. As I've promised you guys down under, that I was going to highlight SVG's day every week because, I like him too. I think he's a great addition to the sport. So let's talk about how SVG's day went at Iowa. It started off pretty good. He had a good qualifying effort, qualified 21st, which is impressive for a track that he's never been on in the Cup car. So limited amount of practice to work with, and knocked off a really good lap. He was the best of the Trackhouse team and had a decent first stage. Ended up running long in stage 2 during that extended green flag pit cycle that we were seeing. And unfortunately, after working his way all the way up to 6 because of that pit cycle, spun himself out. I guess it just got away from him. I didn't really hear what exactly he had to say about that first spin, but there was no damage to the car, which is great. They were able to put some new tires back on it. He didn't lose a lap at that point, at least, and worked his way back up into the top 15 before getting turned around for the second wreck of the day, and ultimately ending up with a 31st place finish. The finish didn't really tell the story of the day for him and his team. The team was resilient and gritty, and I felt like they had a really hard-fought day, and the finish didn't reflect how well they were actually doing for the day. I thought it was impressive that he was able to work his way back up there, and remember, earlier in the week, he won a race on the quarter miles in the Legends car. So it's just a matter of time before SVG starts knocking off top 10s and top 5s on ovals and eventually those wins. So as promised, we'll continue to keep an eye on SVG's progress every week for all of you guys down under. Now, let's move on over to the playoff picture. With William Byron's win this week at Iowa, it doesn't really shake up the playoff bubble per se. There wasn't necessarily much movement as far as those points go. But for the regular season championship, it did have a little bit of a shakeup. Remember, going into the week, Elliott had assumed the regular season lead. Well, with Byron's win and Elliott's 14th place finish, that changed positions now. William Byron will now enter Watkins Glen with an 18-point advantage in the regular season, which again is good for 15 playoff points once the playoffs start. So that's a huge deal. Denny Hamlin is in fourth, and he's only 51 points behind, with Larson sitting there in third. So a pretty tight battle that could have another shakeup before the end of the regular season. Of note about the regular season points, Bubba Wallace's really good recovery from a tough race got him a position better in the regular season points battle. So he's now up to 10th, which equates to an extra playoff points. So pretty good reward there for Bubba Wallace after having a really tough day and a heck of a recovery. Remember, they had a toe link break on the right rear, went down 2 laps on Sunday, and were still able to recover to a 6th place finish. Impressive day out of that 23 bunch. Let's shift gears now and talk about the Truck Series real quick. As you guys have heard, CJprovides was caught up in a nasty wreck and is going to be out now for the rest of the season. And there's been question about what is going to happen with the 52 truck. The team stated that they wanted to continue to run the truck through the rest of the season to go for the owner's points. So they went ahead and secured a ride for Watkins Glen, the next truck race. They got Christopher Bell to jump into that seat for next week. Well, this past weekend, a little wrench has been thrown into the Truck Series. We've had another driver move. Caden Honeycutt told Nice Motorsports that he was not going to return for the 26th season, and Nice Motorsports just decided to go ahead and cut him. Let him loose. Well, Honeycutt is in the playoff picture right now. He's 73 points above the cut line and in playoff contention, so he's got to find and scramble himself a ride. And wouldn't you know it, this 52 is open. Not for Watkins Glen, but Caden Honeycutt is going to take over the 52 for the remainder of the season, starting at Richmond. Next week, to secure his full season eligibility, he is going to drive the number 02 for Young Motorsports. So, just a little side story there for us to keep an eye on as the truck season continues. Again, our thoughts and prayers continue to be with CJprovides as he recovers from that nasty wreck. As Jess, his wife, has relayed through to everybody through X, he's doing well, in good spirits, and his surgeries have gone very well so far. Great news there, and we hope to have him back soon enough. All right, well, now, as promised, let's talk about the MVP of Sunday's Iowa race, and that was the Maid Rite sandwich. This was my first experience with the Maid Rite, and I had never heard of it until this weekend. As you guys know, I like to try regionally appropriate dishes for wherever NASCAR is headed, and this was a top choice among Iowans. Turns out it had its origins at a butcher shop. A butcher was trying to figure out a new way to utilize his meat, ended up creating this sandwich, and gave it to a delivery man that was nearby. And the delivery guy said, you know what, that's a sandwich made right. And that's where it got its name, way back in 1926. And it's become a regional staple, and I can see why. It was a great sandwich to make and enjoy. So good, I couldn't put it down. And as I found out, very quick and easy to put together. I'm going to include a recipe for it down below. As you guys can see here, it came together very quickly and easily. You can have this for a weeknight, quick 20-minute meal if you're looking for something to throw together real quick and please the family with. Or it's also great to be able to put it together and throw it in a crock pot and take it with you to a family function, or if you're headed over to a buddy's house to watch the race on Sunday. So, Maid Rite sandwich hits right with this guy right here. I'll be sure to be including it in my tailgating in the future. Again, check out the recipe down below, and how to put it together is all included down there for you. All right, well, that'll do it for this episode of Racin'-n-Braisin. We put a thumb on the Iowa race. caught up on how SVG did for the day. We talked about the playoff picture, and we finished things off with that delicious sandwich that all of y'all need to try. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you like what I'm doing here, be sure to leave a like and subscribe down below. Be sure to hit that bell icon. I truly do appreciate all of your help as we grow this channel. Next up, Thursday, I'll give you guys a preview of Watkins Glen. All 3 series are going to be there, so be sure to look out for that episode. Until then, guys, stay happy.